22 minutes of a TV show that they're trying to get on the network for the fall. And so I went. I was pretty excited. I walked in. There were 3 executive producers there, and they said, "Hey, Steve, why don't you go in this little viewing room, watch the show, and then come out and we'll talk about music." I said, "Great." So I go into this little viewing room and I watch 22 minutes of probably the worst television show I've ever seen. And I come out and the producers are all staring at me, and they said, "Well, what'd you think?" I said, "Yeah, it was on the screen, you know." First guy says, "Yeah, we want a theme, you know," and I worked with John Sebastian on Welcome Back, Kotter. This is what he's saying to me, and would love it if you could kind of work those stylings into your theme. I said, "Well, I don't play the auto harp, but I'll see what I can do." Second guy said, "Pat Metheny, love Pat Metheny." I said, "I do too, he's great, but you know, John Sebastian and jazz guitar might be a little bit of a stretch putting that together." Third guy looked at me and he said, "Latin percussion and lots of it." I called my agent on the way home and I said, "Hey, can you get me off this thing?" She said no. She said, "Hey, look, just write anything," because they had these groups, I forget what they call them, groups of people that watch these pilots and rate them, and this show got the lowest rating of any show in the history of Warner Brothers Television, and there was no chance it was going to get on the air. I said, "Okay, well that makes me feel better, I'll just write what I feel." I went home and I wrote this little song in about 15 minutes, and because I had another write that day, and I was really excited about that, and this I just kind of threw together, and the next day the guys called me and they said, "When can we hear it?" And I said, "Oh, well, I slaved all night on this. If you want to come over, I'll play it for you. There's no demo yet. I can just play it for you on the piano," thinking that it'll just go away. And they came over and I played it for them. Had absolutely nothing to do with any of the 3 elements they asked me for. And after I finished it, I looked up. They were all standing here at the piano, and they were all smiling, and they said, "That's exactly what we wanted." The show ran for 8.5 years, and was the #1 show on ABC for 8.5 years, which shows how much I know about network television. Show me that smile